the new and the familiar. The United States, for the first time in a long while, dressed it already. It's Honduras in white and blue stripes. Continuing match day 3 of the final round of FIFA World Cup qualifying here in San Jose. For Clint Jackson and Chase. As we get there, for Figueroa and CDX, seven Honduran stars and experience in the last 4.
Straight away, that 5-3-2 formation, but you saw the little trap that they set as soon as the ball went to John Brooks. They came out, they pressed high. It was a good ball deep over. Run by Clint Dempsey in behind just to stretch that defense. So they thought they were going to come and sit in. Most early signs are that they are.
Maybe smart early on for the U.S. to take a little of the pressure off and play the ball forward as opposed to trying to mess around with the back.
Mexico game back in November showed 9 yellow cards that night to the state of Mexico. So referee of the final World Cup in 2015, very controversial match, a lot of yellow cards. Apparently this match is going to be shot to go to his pocket tonight. A handful of U.S. players out there. Including John Brooks, who clears it away. Woodley suspended Tuesday night. They're showing yellow tonight. His older brother Joe, representing his country in the U.S. Army, just recently passed basic training, and he'll be stationed in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Leggett rising up. It's again a wayward clearance. It's a bit sloppy at the back from Honduras. Pulisic tackled over by Figueroa. Altidore holds it in. Pulisic's going to get there in time. It's loose, and it's tapped in by Sebastian Leggett. It is a dream start for the United States.
A dream start for the United States and a dream start for Sebastian Leggett, the hometown kid here from the Bay Area. Early on, 3 times now, the U.S. have played kind of hopeful balls forward. Josie Altidore gets a hold of it. Pulisic, and look who's lurking on the back post. Sebastian the Jet, 1-0 U.S.
And it comes from a recognition from Pulisic, who'd started wide on the initial one, then floats centrally in that number 10 position, a run beyond the back line, then gets the opportunity, right place, right time. Leget's there, and the U.S. are up 1-0.
And Leget, good strength on Izaguirre to win the ball. Pulisic then stood up hard by Ever Alvarado, who then nutmegs Leget the other way. Blistering pace to this one early. Kyoto and chase. Omar Gonzalez there to meet him. Inside, and it's Leget there to knock it behind for a corner. San Francisco native, born to parents from Argentina. He was ready to retire a couple of years ago. A move to West Ham as a teenager didn't work out. Who picked him up? Bruce Arena at the LA Galaxy. Who put him in a U.S. national team shirt for the first time? Bruce Arena in the January camp. Starting in here tonight. The U.S. has to defend the first set piece of the evening. Jorge Claros, former Sporting Kansas City player, is now for Real España in Honduras to take. This ball's past everyone.
John, that goal for the United States came after a good start for Honduras. They'd started well, they pressed high, they were limiting service into midfield. It took a recognition from Pulisic to find a little space out wide. Then he knew he had to come centrally, took a chance to run beyond the striker. Josie Altidore, that little combination play, we were wondering how it was going to work, but it worked to a treat there, and the opportunistic Leget at the back post.
This is one of those decisions that makes coaches look like heroes. We talked a lot about, should Pulisic play in the middle or wide? Should Leget play in the middle or wide? Pulisic playing in the middle gave him an opportunity to make that run through the middle, and Leget being where he was and opportunistic, pounced on the rebound. So right now, Bruce Arena looks like a hero.
Tim Howard gets to make his first save of the night from 70 yards. This is what it would mean. The live standings, Trinidad and Tobago beating Panama earlier. Mexico 2-0 up early in the second half on Costa Rica. The U.S. still below Trinidad and Tobago and Honduras on goal differential, but at least right within striking distance. Top three qualify automatically. Fourth place goes to a playoff in November against the fifth place finisher from Asia. As it stands, would be either Uzbekistan or Australia. As Villafania knocked that away off the throw. Dempsey, it's too far for Altidore, and referee Walter Lopez got in his way. The movement by Kyoto, trying to find Albert Ellis, his Houston Dynamo teammate, but it was behind him. Moving forward, lost his footing. Pulisic was there in time. Hadley an errant pass. Claros for Roger Espinosa, Sporting Kansas City. Bradley cleans up his own error. He was trying to spring Altidore, but Altidore was checking into the midfield.
It was a good look there by Michael Bradley, but on the initial one, needs to be a little careful in that position because of how high Honduras are pressing and how wide the United States are playing. If you give the ball away in those dangerous positions, that gives Honduras an opportunity to spring the counterattack.
Jeff Cameron doing enough. Kyoto wanted to play a 1-2, and he couldn't get through Cameron, who told us yesterday, when we asked him, is he the best player? He sort of said, oh, really? Well, a few hard tackles will shut him up.
That comes from playing in England, I'll tell you that. Typical English mentality of first 5 minutes, get in, leave a challenge on someone, let them know that they're going to be in for a game.
Here he comes again, Kyoto from Izaguirre. Omar Gonzalez had to slide across because he was in behind a Cameron. 25 years of age, has scored in all 3 games for the Dynamo so far. Romel Kyoto has scored 3 goals in his last 5 World Cup qualifiers. Izaguirre's cross met by Gonzalez. Able to hook it away. It's a point that we heard when we talked with both Roger Espinosa and Manuel Figueroa last week. All this MLS experience on the field for Honduras. They're not going to be scared. It's not going to feel like an away game for them. They're familiar with their opponents and with the surroundings as Brooks volleys that out. DC Dallas. Long switch, Bekeles, Andy Nahar. DC United, homegrown player, now with Anderlecht in Belgium. Dancing with Nagby, he's able to poke it out. Towards Ellis, dangerously popping up high there on Brooks. Dempsey. Jet just able to keep it. And the pace in some ways, plus the slickness of the field, seems to be working against some of these combinations.
This is that run from Christian Pulisic. Just dances past one. It doesn't quite come off. And you saw that little point by him, pointing where he wanted the ball from Josie Altidore. It was a well-weighted pass. Get another great look at it here. This one doesn't come off. Just says, right in here, give it to me. And he gets on the end of it. Good opportunity with the left foot, saved. And Leget's there. And you know what that feels like, landing that moment, celebrating, where you almost feel like you've blacked out. That's what he will be feeling right there, just pure ecstasy.
Ellis on the turn, it's Nahar who's able to cut it back to. Bekeles opening up on the far side. Kyoto trying to cross for him. Second corner of the night for Honduras.
One thing to pay attention to as the night goes on, Pulisic has obviously been told to be more aggressive, be attacking. How much can he get in next to Michael Bradley to help them defend when they need to? And if this game goes on 1-0 or maybe 2-0 US, he's going to have to play a little bit deeper and help Michael a little more.
Claros once again to take everyone in red and back in that 18-yard box to defend. Short for Nahar. Claros took a deflection. Easy stuff for Howard. Looking to spring Dempsey. Only Nagby running with him. Altidore now charging up from behind. Altidore wants the long ball. Nagby didn't have his head turned that direction. Now Leget. Altidore again wants it through. For offside on Clint Dempsey. It is wonderful to see Clint Dempsey on the field for his country for the first time since the Copa America. His season with the Seattle Sounders ended last August with an irregular heartbeat. Back on the field for them, though, having had to watch their run to MLS Cup. And he scored 2 goals in 3 games, could have easily had a third in 3, but Jordan Moore's handball took one away in Montreal. Dempsey has a great record as well. 4 goals against Honduras, more than anyone else on this roster. And really, Dempsey, he's the guy for the big moment. Just about any time you can think of the last 4 years of do or die back against the wall game, the snow in Costa Rica, Copa America, qualifiers, Leget caught late by Ever Alvarado. Dempsey's been the man to score in those. And Walter Lopez showing the game's first yellow card to Alvarado with Sebastian Leget, and he's still a little bit slow to get up.
The U.S. have figured out early on that being direct might be the most effective way to get at Honduras tonight. They've had 5 or 6 opportunities early to play balls over the top. This one, Jeff Cameron flicks on to Leget. Next thing you know, you get a yellow card against Honduras, and you get a free kick in a dangerous area. So if Honduras are continuing to press high, it's a good way to get at them.
Well, and I think it's a combination of it. At times, that's the only option. I'm looking at right when Tim Howard had the ball in that time, there were 6 United States players all along the halfway line. So somebody needs to recognize that situation and drop in a little bit deeper.
We talked about the big height advantage the U.S. has on these attacking set pieces. How about the Bradley service? Up in the air by Manuel Figueroa. It's held in. Gonzalez, really no one down there in that corner. Clearance only as far as Bradley. He'll elect to cycle back and reset the offense. Keep it. You talked about all the traps Honduras are setting. It's sort of a different looking setup for the U.S. How is it matched up through 15 minutes?
I I think the U.S. have done a great job in taking the initiative in the game. And we talked a lot about the last few months.
Cameron and Gonzalez there to cut that out for Kyoto.
And how they would respond to being in last place in the hexagonal.
Izaguirre's cross, it fell in the middle to Ellis. His shot is right to Tim Howard. We're seeing players slip and slide all over the place. Sebastian Lletget has gone back down. Still struggling for the tackle he took a moment ago. There you see him.
The ball comes initially, ends up at Ellis's feet, and he has space in the box. And you see Tim Howard, he's talking to John Brooks because Brooks is with him. Just switches off for a half second there. That was a good opportunity for Honduras.
Alejandro Bedoya getting his final instructions from Pat Noonan, one of the assistant coaches, as it looks like Sebastian Lletget might not be able to continue just about 10 minutes after scoring his first goal for the United States. What a crucial one as well to give them the early lead against Honduras. Certainly when we saw the U.S. practice yesterday, Bedoya was in a lot of the same drills. He was one of the ready fire plans for making a substitution in this spot. What a frustrating end of the night after an exciting beginning of the night for Lletget.
Yeah, this is heartbreaking for Sebastian Lletget. He's here in his hometown, scores a goal early on, then unfortunately takes a really nasty challenge here that'll force him to leave the game. But obviously he can be proud of his night, and he's shown that he belongs in this team, and he will be a part of this team going forward.
What you lose and what Lletget can offer, you gain about 55 international appearances with Alejandro Bedoya, who joined the Philadelphia Union last August. Potentially challenging in the air, and it's Alvarado who clears away. Bedoya not yet on, so the U.S. is still playing with 10. Ellis going down on a heap in front of Omar Gonzalez.
Stu, one thing that the U.S. center backs are going to have to get right, are they may be playing 2v1 all night against Ellis, and they need to make sure that they're not playing behind him, that one of them's playing at least on his shoulder, if not ahead of him, so they can't come underneath and collect the ball and relieve the pressure for Honduras.
And you saw that there with the miscommunication between Gonzalez and Brooks that led to that foul.
Brooks up there to clear it away from Izaguirre. Lletget off to the locker room. A concern for the U.S. Tuesday night in Panama City. Pulisic, can he get it away on the outside? It's going to stay in play. Oh, it sure looked from where we're standing that ball was still in play.
I have to agree with you, John. From the first look there, it looked like he'd had a wonderful bit of skill to dance around Izaguirre. I'm not convinced that whole ball was over.
Entire ball has to cross the entire line. It was right in front of Harrison Lopez, the younger brother of our referee, Walter.
Well, that's it.
That ball's still in. And Pulisic is off to the races.
That's a tough one to miss right in front of you, too.
Altidore intercepts the pass from Claros. Nagbe accelerating around Bekeles. Hands off for Pulisic. The return was behind him, though. It breaks down in the midfield for Honduras. Nagbe for Villafana, with whom he won MLS Cup 2015 with the Portland Timbers. Howard, who still isn't 100% in his legs, he said, I'm never going to be 100% again at the age of 38, but he said the legs are as solid as they're going to be coming off the surgery for the adductor injury. For those types of long kicks.
Alexi talked in the pregame about Michael Bradley and that this needs to be a game where he steps up. You can tell he's very comfortable in this role. He's letting Pulisic go forward and do what he does best, and he's sitting in the midfield deep, getting the ball, spraying it around, and then when the ball turns over, Honduras has it, like
There
here.
He is. Ellis is able to ride the challenge and keep it. And then Bradley fouls. Free kick, Honduras.
And just to finish up there, that's where Michael Bradley's at his best. And a little unfortunate here to get called for the foul, but this is what has made him a world-class player.
129th appearance for the U.S. captain. It's Emilio Izaguirre, who will hook in the ensuing set piece. It was off a Honduras head. That was Manor Figueroa flashing through. just skipping off the top of his forehead. Jenny, what's the word on Sebastian Lletget?
Well, guys, you noticed that he did go into the locker room, and the latest I'm hearing from the U.S. team, from the medical staff, is a left ankle injury. I will keep you posted if he makes a return, and keep in mind, like you mentioned, from the Bay Area, lots of friends and family here in attendance to watch him play. A big blow for the U.S. at the moment.
Certainly, we mentioned Tuesday night in Panama, Jermaine Jones will be available for that, suspended tonight, and he is in camp with the team, but that's certainly not the way you want to end your World Cup qualifying debut, scoring your first goal. By Nagby for Pulisic. Opening up for Bedoya. It's Izagiri out there with them. Colorado trying to close it out. Bedoya trying to reverse it to Pulisic.
It's a good play from Roger Espinosa. Sporting Kansas City man for Honduras. Never present in midfield.
Wrestled off the ball. No, it's going to be a foul. Chased all the way out there by Brooks. Looking long for Kyoto. Cameron had that the whole way. Work to do for Bradley here with Espinosa on his back. Espinosa's able to win a throw with that pressure on Cameron. Izagiri trying to direct traffic. It actually worked. Bradley tackles it away. Dempsey for Pulisic. Nowhere to go for the U.S. Pressure on Bradley from Claros. He's able to recover. And his body between Claros and the ball and win a free kick.
He misplays this one initially. Michael Bradley does well in the second to win it back and draws the foul. You see him just draw the contact behind him and goes down. I still think at times in the center of the park for the United States, the understanding between Pulisic and Bradley when they're in possession needs to be a little bit better, because at times it's almost a 5 and a 5 and there's this big gap in midfield. Just screaming for someone to drop off and take it and give an option for the center backs or for Michael Bradley to be a connector to the forward.
Great work by Nagby there. The pressure on Bevelis wins a U.S. throw.
To your point, Stu, it's obviously going to take them some time to get used to each other in there. But I think the relationship so far is starting to shape out and show very clearly at what each player is good at, and it's been productive so far.
Trying to go quickly as the U.S. lost possession. Espinosa was trying to go over the top of Cameron to Kyoto. Espinosa's gone down. You saw him react to something. A yellow card is going to come out on Jeff Cameron. Espinosa slamming the turf and pain or frustration or both.
I'd like to hear Dr. Joe's take on this, because it didn't even look like he was going to call a foul. And then when Espinosa went down, not only did he call a foul, but he decided to give Jeff Cameron a yellow card.
Well, let's hear from our FIFA match commissioner, Dr. Joe Macknick, watching from field level. What'd you see?
Going to call a foul. Well, at first, certainly the foul was not going to be called. It looked like Cameron looked like he got him, either stepped on his foot or got him above the, here it is here, he got him high above the shins. So he continued to play, felt the pain and went down. It's definitely a foul. And I guess you just have to even up the yellow cards here.
Well, it's Altidore, Bradley, and Brooks who are in peril of a yellow card suspension for Tuesday night in Panama.
And that's one to watch, John, the rest of the game. Jeff Cameron on a yellow card. Kyoto, very dangerous player on that left-hand side. Will have a little more freedom now.
Kyoto to take the free kick. Going for goal. It's going to take a lot more than that to beat Tim Howard. Door back from Bedoya. Away by Alvarado.
Just going back to that direct play, Landon, it's clearly been communicated to the players that that's how they're going to play, because the fullbacks are pushing all the way up. Tim Howard's looking to hit either one in the air. Jeff Cameron's been winning the ball and flicking it on.
Now they route around Claros. No one coming to cover. Bradley! He doesn't do that often. 16 goals in 129 games for the U.S.
Well, eat your heart out, Alexi Laws. You talked about Michael Bradley in the pregame. You said he needs to step up tonight. Honduras lay up and they think, go ahead, take it from there. You're not going to score. Well, guess what? He did. Great goal, Michael Bradley. Captain leading the way, 2-0 U.S.
And it's this moment here. He's looking up. He's looking for a pass. Josie Altidore's peeling off the shoulder of Figueroa. Honduras keep backing up. They're inviting him forward. And the captain says, I'll have a go. And the left foot just curves it around, giving Escobar no chance in that far post. And it's a great finish from Michael Bradley outside the box.
Was given his debut by Bruce Arena in the warm-up games for the 06 World Cup. One of 4 players in national team history with 15 goals and 15 assists in his career as Nagbe's tackled off the ball. It's Henry Figueroa carrying forward. Nahar working on Villafana. Nahar, the little scoop in for Espinoza. Brought down on Villafana. Espinoza trying to hook it in straight to Howard. I don't think about Dos Cicero with Honduras, more so with Mexico, but it sounds just as good coming off the tongue in a crucial World Cup qualifier.
And I think the positioning from Escobar here is really poor. I think he gets caught behind Josie Altidore, can't really see where Michael Bradley is, left the opening, and Bradley picked it out.
That was the first time we've seen Michael Bradley get that far forward into the attack, and it came off, again, a direct kick from Tim Howard. They flick it, they win a throw-in deep in that end. It allows the United States to get further up the field. A little throw-in, and then Michael Bradley did the rest.
More out muscling Villafana to start this sequence for Honduras. Bedoya the tackle. Kyoto won the referee's approval but couldn't take the ball away.
There's been a lot of discussion about where Michael Bradley's best position is. He has said he wants to play in this deep line position, and from there he can get forward and do these things. I think Bruce Arena realized that. Michael Bradley and Bruce have spoken about it, and he's really thriving now.
Altidore chase of this. Figueroa misplayed. Altidore giving up for a moment. He might have got there otherwise. In the end, he just rolls over Manuel Figueroa from behind. The U.S. has jumped a spot on the second tiebreaker goal scored. And listen, it's relevant going forward here. The U.S. digging themselves a goal differential hole with the 4-0 loss in Costa Rica. It was the biggest qualifying loss in the modern era of the U.S. national team So being able to be 2-0 instead of 2-1, perhaps the 3-0, that might have some real positive consequences going down the road. Cameron was tracking that the whole way.
To your point, John, Bruce Arena was always
trying to chase there under pressure from Kyoto. Just able to recover that.
Was always emphasizing how important every goal is in qualifying and in tournaments that matter. You never know when you might need one extra goal or prevent one goal from going in and how it can make a difference. So a very important piece for the U.S. going forward.
Was no Dempsey there just to knock it out. U.S. throw. Fall for Pulisic off of Bekales's chest. Dempsey trying to run. Henry Figueroa. Clint Dempsey is back on the field for the U.S. Back scoring big goals. And this is a dynamite half-hour plus for the United States. If you were looking for a response from this team after what happened in November, this is it.
But again, Johnny, it comes from Christian Pulisic picking the ball up in that number 10 position, and it's an outrageous pass. He just lifts it up over the top. Look at that skill. It's so well weighted. The first touch from Dempsey is fantastic. He takes it off his shoulder, and that's what he does best. Clint Dempsey scores goals. He's back.
We heard in Seattle when we were there last week just what a difference he's been coming back in, how much joy he has being back on the soccer field after the irregular heartbeat kept him out all last fall and very likely could have ended his career. Brooks stepping through there, Altidore, Dempsey, Pulisic. Pulisic takes the bump from Espinoza. He's slow to get up. Third assist for Christian Pulisic in 12 appearances for the U.S. coming on that Dempsey goal. Cascade down here in San Jose. I don't think any of us thought we'd be seeing this. Dempsey and Ellis exchange a little shove on the way through there. Hard trying to escape on Villafana. Bekalles looking to send him on his way. Villafana trying to recover. Numbers pouring forward for Honduras. Andy Nahar clipping in the cross. Cameron straight up in the air. Bedoya trying to help. Bradley sends it away. trying to get to Izaguirre, skips off the turf, did really well to get there on the first touch, but couldn't hold it in.
And Pulisic again. Clever little pass like you talked about, Stu, but for me, the finish is exquisite. And Dempsey's strength, his power, and then his ability to calm himself down when he gets in front of the goal and put the ball away is really impressive.
But up until that point, Landon, we barely said Clint Dempsey's name. He's been doing a lot of work defensively. He's been shuffling in. He's been an outlet. But he only needs one chance in front of goal, and you saw that there. He did have work to do where he took it off the shoulder. But again, just the awareness from Pulisic in that midfield position, just to be able to pick that pass out.
Good work by Klaus to find Nahar. Bepelis coming forward on the overlap. Engaging with Villafana now. He's able to knock it away. It's out off Dempsey, though, for a Honduras throw. Walter Lopez has spotted something. Exchanging shoves. Hart. The cross in, Bedoya was there. Figueroa resets to the near side. Bedoya fouling Kyoto. Another set piece chance for Honduras. They've had a couple of these here in this first half. So again, it's Emilio Izaguirre. 7th season with Celtic in Scotland. Hooks this in. Bradley was right there. Navy trying to escape. Espinoza caught him. Just a free kick, no yellow. Well, for more on the USA's third goal scorer tonight, Jenny downstairs.
John, I appreciate it. Well, I spoke to Michael Bradley about Clint Dempsey and his return to the team. I said, explain it to me. What does it mean? He said, honestly, it's hard because he checks every single box as what it is like to be a good teammate and competitor, the kind of player you want to step on the field with, because he finds a way to get it done no matter what. It is that energy and spirit, his leadership, so valuable to this team.
Well, and his goal was significant. We talked about the ramifications of maybe adding on to this lead. Hexagonal standings as Izaguirre heads that away.
And a lot of the talk the last few weeks, John, was about all the injuries and all the people missing, Bobby Wood, Fabian Johnson, etc. Everybody kind of forgot that you're getting back arguably your best player, and he has shown tonight again why he's a leader on this team and why he makes things happen.
Altidore for Pulisic. Figueroa defending. Pulisic trying to dance through him, couldn't quite do so. Wants a foul, he's not going to get. Man down in front of the Honduras bench that they have some real concern about now. Walter Lopez blowing the play dead. Romel Kyoto is indeed the man who's down.
Straight away, didn't he, when he went down, rolling around. Took a little while for Walter Lopez to see it, to stop the play.
Kyoto scored 38 goals in 3 seasons with Olympia, one of the big clubs in Honduras, before making the move to the Houston Dynamo. Jorge Luis Pinto, said already sort of as a predisposition against referees and playing games in the U.S. None too happy that one of his star youngsters is down injured. Looking at this,
it looked like when
left
Bedoya's arm got caught with him, that'll be certainly worrying for Wilmer Cabrera, the coach of the Houston Dynamo, because if you've had a chance to watch him in MLS the last couple weeks, the partnership between him and Ellis for the Dynamo has been electric. Worrying sign for club and country here, because he looks in a lot of pain.
get him off to the side of the field so the game can continue.
It was his gamesmanship, because all he has to do is take one step. Now, you hope he's okay and you hope he can continue, but okay, Luis Pinto does not want to continue a man down. Certainly being down 3-0, fighting to get back in this. Just give him a little few extra minutes to get a few players warmed up.
Are you close enough to halftime where you could maybe play with 10 the next 5 minutes and give him halftime to recover? Or do they need to make this call pretty quickly?
I think with 5 minutes left, you probably try to wait and see. You don't want to make a sub if you don't have to, but judging by his reaction and by the way they've reacted to him, I would find it hard to imagine he's going to be okay to continue.
We saw a couple subs getting loose, but no one is come back over to the bench area to come on. As we talked about, the U.S. is now in the playoff spot. Just by the margin of victory, dragging Honduras' goal differential down. They've climbed 2 spots in 40 minutes.
And that currently will probably get you a playoff against Uzbekistan or Iraq. So you want to keep going so you can avoid that.
It's just a start, but it's a good recovery. Pulisic's going to get on the end of this advantage play as Dempsey was fouled. The drive inside, and Nicholas took the ball away. Honduras do have a sub now in the wings. Getting sent to come on. Espinosa, good work there to escape. This loses it to Bradley. Eric Andino is going to be coming on here in a moment for Honduras. Some great form. We'll tell you about it more in a second as Pulisic finds Bedoya on the outside. Dempsey and Altidore waiting for the cross. Here it comes from Bedoya. It was Pulisic rising up through there. As Ronald Quioto goes straight to the locker room. Andino is on 5 goals in 8 games this year, playing for Honduras, including a closed-door friendly with Nicaragua last week. He scored his last 6 games for club and country. He plays for Motagua in Honduras. So each team forced to burn a substitution through injury here in this first half.
Goes without saying that this has been a very good half for the United States. And the key for me was the first 5 minutes, getting that goal through Leggett.
Offside there.
Because Honduras had come out, all the talk was about how they were going to sit back defensively. They came out, they pressed. The United States did well to get on the board early.
Coming up on our halftime here from San Jose, Fernando, Alexi, and Rob will give you highlights of what's going on down in Mexico City. 2-0 for Mexico right now, about 5 minutes to go at the Estadio Azteca. We'll get their thoughts on what we've seen here tonight from Michael Bradley, Sebastian Leggett, Dempsey, and the rest of the U.S. 3-0 up on Honduras. Halftime within sight.
Just going back to that earlier, John, just getting that goal relieved that little bit of tension that was coming into this game, and they've just gone from strength to strength after that.
Return here from Izaguirre by Nahar. He's going to get there. The cross behind Gonzalez, and it's mishit. And Dino, who's in such wonderful form, coming in for club and country, right on the doorstep, put it wide of Howard's post.
We talk about the relationship between Omar Gonzalez and John Brooks, and somehow Omar gets sucked to the near post, and he loses Andino. Really big bullet dodge, and I think maybe Brooks gets his foot on it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He does, and Omar Gonzalez had gotten dragged past that front post and left it wide open. And Brooks with the quick heads up there just to get across and clear it.
Altado's going to get on the end of this as Aguirre steps in on the first touch. 2-minute stoppage time all the way.
Stuart, you know in these games, you might only get 1 or 2 chances, and if Honduras want to get back in this game, that's a ball they have to finish. And a great play by John Anthony Brooks last minute to keep this lead at 3.
And Espinosa with a stiff arm on Josie Altidore. big goal for Honduras, a boost of confidence going into the break to pull one back. Izaguirre. Dino's going to get there on Bradley. His cross right in front was an inch too tall for Ellis. Stays in play on the far side for Bekeles. Claros now. Nahar buzzing around. It was meant for him. Villafani intercepted. Dempsey couldn't send Nagbe on his way. Henry Figueroa stepped in. Well, Albert Ellis is listed as 6 foot even. Need to be 6'1" here.
Just a few warning shots fired by Honduras right before the end of the first half. It's a good ball. Dino is just a little bit too high for Ellis. He rises early, comes glancing off the top of his head, but that's going to be something Bruce Arena will address at halftime.
And certainly overall, just to touch on your point earlier, it's been a great half for the U.S.
Here they come again. Danger on the edge of the area. Waved away, though.
But they do need to be careful to make sure that you don't give Honduras any lifeline here, because they get one goal and they think they're back in the game.
Pulisic combining on the tackle there. Pulisic again takes a big hit. And Pulisic is taking a moment to get back up. Should be the end of the first half. A remarkable first half. More than they could have dreamed for. 3-0 for the United States over Honduras in an all but must-win World Cup qualifier. Bradley, Dempsey, and Leggett, the goal scorers. Bruce Arena, the architect. He's down the field live with Jenny.
Bruce, in the build-up for this match, it was about setting a tone. How satisfying was this first half for you?
It's a good first half, but a little sloppy in the last 5 minutes there. So we got to come out and take control of the game and start the second half. But
For the time.
A real opportunity after the break to get that.